Lesson 4.3, Writing Equations in Point-Slope Form. Our essential question is, how do you write an equation in point-slope form? Point-slope form. This is our third form to write an equation in for a linear equation. This is our third form. We've already learned standard form, and we've already learned slope-intercept form. So point-slope is the third one. Remember, our goal is to be able to use all three forms to convert back and forth between them and to have some choice when you're solving problems. So point-slope form looks like this. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. With point-slope form, the m is the slope of the line, like usual, and then x1 and y1 represent a point on the line. So just like our other equations, we do typically have a variable x and a variable y in our equation. Those are the first y right here and the first x right here. So the numbers that we will be replacing would replace the x1 and y1 and the letter m. Okay, write an equation in point-slope form for the line and then graph it. So the slope is 1/4 and it passes through the point 3, -2. So here's my point-slope form. The slope is m, and the ordered pair gives us our coordinates x1 and y1. So I just need to substitute them in. So I've got y minus my y1 coordinate. I'm going to change colors for you. Y1 is -2. So look at what happens when I plug it in. The minus that's in the equation right here is still in the equation. Y minus that y coordinate. So it's going to turn into a chunky plus there. And then it equals my slope, which is 1/4, times x minus my x coordinate, which is +3. So in red, you can see where I plugged in the +3 and the -2 for the x1 and y1 coordinates. And then I could change my color for you to green to show you where that slope went, right there. So the part in blue is a part of our point-slope form that's always there. So my final answer would be y plus 2 equals 1/4 times x minus 3 in parentheses. Now to graph this, I'm going to graph the point first and then use the slope to find 2 more points on our line. So graph the point first and then use slope to get 2 more points on the graph. Okay, so my point is 3, -2. So that would be right here. Write 3 down 2. That's 3, -2. And then my slope is 1/4. So I have to go up 1 over 4. So I'm going to move up. No, it won't let me move that. I'm going to erase where I wrote that. There. Okay. So this is my 3, -2. And then I'm going to have to go up 1 over 4 like this. Now I ran out of room. So if I don't want to put a point over here where I'm guessing a little bit, I could reverse it. Go down 1 and then back 4 like this and still draw my line. There. Next one, point slope. I have m, x1, and y1. So y minus y1 is 1 this time, equals my slope and then x minus x1, which is negative 2. There. So if I simplify this one, y minus 1 equals negative 6 times x plus 2. So you may notice that when we put in a negative value in the ordered pair, it always turns into a chunky plus. When we put in a positive value, it looks like it's a negative. So the ordered pair kind of looks the opposite of what you expect because of the minuses in the point slope form. Okay, so starting out, my graph, negative 2, 1 is right here. So graph the point first. Then my slope is negative 6, or negative 6 over 1. So I need to go down 6 over 1. Down 6 over 1. Again, if you run out of room, you could reverse it. So up 6, back 1, like that. And then draw your line. Next one. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. My slope, x1 and 1. So y minus y1 is 0 equals the slope, negative 3 halves, and then x minus x1, which is negative 2. Okay, so y minus 0, that just means y. I don't have to write minus 0. So y equals negative 3 halves, and then x plus 2. Chunky plus. If I graph the point first, negative 2, 0 is right here, just to the left 2 of the origin. And then use the slope, so down 3 over 2, down 3 over 2. Draw my line. Okay, now we're switching gears a little bit here. It says write the equation in slope-intercept form. So we're going to take this equation and solve it because we need the y by itself. So we're going to write it in slope-intercept form. So to get the y by itself, I need to subtract 7 on both sides. So y equals x minus 9. That's converting from point slope to slope-intercept form. Next one, first thing I'm going to need to do is distribute. So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12. Y plus 6 equals negative 3x plus 12. Then I would subtract the 6 to get the y alone. So slope-intercept form would be y equals negative 3x plus 6. So distribute and then continue solving to get the y by itself. That's just converting point slope into slope-intercept form. 5 times x is 5x, plus 5 times 1 is 5. So y minus 3 equals 5x plus 5. Add 3 to both sides. Y equals 5x plus 8. A little fraction, because slopes can oftentimes be fractions. So a little fraction to work with. 3 halves times x is 3 halves x. 3 halves times negative 4 over 1. I could cross cancel. 2 goes into 2 once and into negative 4, negative 2 times. Then if I multiply straight across, I get negative 6 over 1, which is negative 6. So 3 halves times negative 4 is negative 6. Then I need to subtract 1 on both sides. So y equals 3 halves x minus 7. So remember, multiplying fractions, if you've got a fraction times an integer or a whole number, just put a 1 under it, multiply straight across. If you're not good at cross-canceling like I did, it's okay if you multiply it straight across and get negative 12 over 2. That still reduces to negative 6. So you don't have to reduce it first. This is a click and drag because now that we've learned all of these different forms, slope, intercept, point, slope, and standard form, we're hoping that you can recognize them. So I'm going to start with point slope because point slope is the one that we've been working on most recently. And I'm trying to find all of the point slope equations here. I think I've got all of them. Then we've got slope intercept solved for y. So the ones that start with y equals are slope intercept form. And last but not least, standard form, ax plus by equals c. There we go. You should be able to write a summary now, answering the essential question, and work on your homework.